New at 6, a seasoned judge too embarrassed to even mention what a stripper did after being thrown in the slammer.
Oh, I'm not going to say. No, I'm not going to say.
Well, police say Lakeisha Johnson gave guards an X-rated show in her holding cell and even offered them sex in exchange for her freedom.
Team 6's Keith Jones is live in Fort Lauderdale with the lewd details. Keith.
Yeah, this one's bizarre, guys. You talk to most police officers and deputies who've made arrests, they'll tell you that quite often suspects can become aggressive and unruly. Miss Johnson was all of those, they say. Then they say she took matters into her own hands, literally.
File this under, that's a doozy.
That was Judge John Hurley's reaction after reading the arrest from 29-year-old Lakeisha Johnson. She puts on a show for a living, working as a dancer at Tootsie Strip Club in Miami Gardens. And deputies say she continued to put on a show when they had a run-in with her at 1 o'clock Monday morning.
They suspected her of having stolen an iPad, and because she was jumping fences, obviously that's suspicious, so they decided to stop and question her.
Deputies set up a perimeter in the 3200 block of homes between Southwest 47th and 48th Avenues near Hallandale Beach Boulevard. So police finally located Johnson walking between some homes. They call her over to the cruiser, and that's when they say she became increasingly vulgar, aggressive, and belligerent. Told her to calm down, and that's when they say she did, by taking off her clothes.
She refused to identify herself, slapped the officer's hand, and was just acting very aggressively towards the deputies. They decided to arrest her.
Brought here to South Broward District Station in a holding cell, like this one, is where the tiny dancer didn't need a pole. She had bars, and according to deputies, she disrobed and began pleasuring herself.
She did. She removed her clothes several times. She was asked to stop her behaviors and put her clothes back on and refused to do so.
A female Hallandale Beach officer was called in to search Johnson, and that's when the holding cell self-sex began again, and there's more.
She climbed up on the bars, shaking the cell bars. She offered to perform sexual acts on the deputies in exchange for release.
And when the case was brought before Judge John Hurley, who's usually never at a loss for words, he was a bit tongue-tied.
And, oh, I'm not going to say. No, I'm not going to say. Go ahead, State. Do you have any priors? I'm definitely not going to say what's on what's on page 3.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't going to say it. And right after that, he asked Miss Johnson if she wanted to rectify this today. She pled no contest. He gave her a minimal bond of just $100, and as of about an hour ago, that still hadn't been paid. Miss Johnson is still in jail. Reporting live tonight, Keith Jones, NBC 6 South Florida.